order the Board of Trustees of Batavia Public Library regular meeting for Tuesday, 16 January 2018. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Please call the roll.
Blodgett. Here. Bulata. Beechman.
Here.
Garrett. Here. Henders.
Here.
McKenzie.
Here.
Smith. Here.
Great. Thank you very much. Comments from the audience? Seeing no other extra audience, we'll move on to approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda has a number of items on it. Minutes from our public hearing and regular meeting on the 15th of November. Is that really 2016?
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
2017.
Thank you. So as amended there, 2017. Expenditures from November and December of 2017. Some action items that were taken in committees, including an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2017 to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation library bonds, Series 1998 to the Batavia Public Library, District Kane and DuPage Counties, Illinois. The resolution adopting a policy on a work environment free of discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. The audit services came out of the Finance Committee, and that would be the items for the consent agenda. Does anybody want to take anything off of the consent agenda?
I just have one change to the minutes for the
Yes.
public hearing with President Sullivan.
Oh, yeah.
The Christie's president is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. That is a roll call for this, right? Okay. Can we have oh, wait a minute. Do we need a? Let me get this right.
Move to approve.
A second.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, Blodgett. Aye. Beechman.
Aye.
Garrett. Aye. Henders.
Aye.
McKenzie.
Aye.
Smith. Aye.
Thank you. All right. Now, does anybody have any changes to the agenda or any questions about the agenda for this evening? All right. I need a motion approved. Once again, this is a police board, right? So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. All right, moving right along. We have our financial reports for November, December of 2017.
A couple of quick comments. We have 2 packets of the financial reports. Even though there was no meeting in November, you've got what would ordinarily be presented there too. So if you do some comparatives, you have that. Up until the last couple of weeks, I was saying the budget was tracking pretty well, but now with all the cold weather and the salt removal, it might slip a little bit. But I think for the most part, it's tracking pretty much where it needs to be at this time of year. Nothing really out of the ordinary. One of the accounts, the professional services, shows up a little bit more, but there's an offset in savings in the salary line items. That was the switch we did in the IT function this past summer, starting there. So I'm actually in the process of working on some graphing. For those of you who I know are into graphs, it's a tedious process because I have to translate everything out of the old system into Excel. So I'm close to having some information, I think, available. So I just want to make sure George and I both take a chance to review it. There isn't any surprises in it before we let it out the door. So any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Okay. President's report. I have nothing to report unless you would like to explain the bulldog.
Holly ordered her. She said she forgot to pick it up. She asked me to give it to me.
Oh, very good.
It's yours. Communication.
Communication, yes, excellent, okay. Very good, so nothing to report then, other than I guess I have a bulldog. I'm excited, because I was part of the Bulldogs Unleashed, so, okay.
She might think it's hers.
She might think it's hers. I might know better. I'll find out, yeah.
Actually, just for the record and for the audience at home, these bulldog puppies, as the Bulldogs Unleashed team calls them, are available for order through February 1st through the bulldogsunleashed.org website. The white one is actually unpainted. There also is one available in crimson, one available in gold, and one available in black. And the crimson and gold colors are the same, they call them Pantone colors, I think, that the school uses for its official crimson and gold colors, and they're actually quite gorgeous. There was a first wave of these for Christmas gifts, and they were so popular that the Bulldogs Unleashed team has reopened the sales. So go to the bulldogsunleashed.org website if you too would like to get a crimson, gold, black, or unpainted bulldog. You can paint it when you can keep it white, or you can paint it yourself. So, thank you.
All right, thanks.
End of the advertisement.
All right. I have nothing else to add then. Does anybody have any good news or comments from the board? Okay. Correspondence and communications. Did we have anything in the packet, George?
No, there was nothing in the packet.
Okay. Very good. So we're on to item 11, directors and librarians reports.
Okay, the written report is in your packet, and two highlights. One, there recently was published an article looking at the at nationwide library data in the public libraries issue in last September, October. And one of the charts was circulation per capita, which we reported on previously, since we're in the top 10 in the state in that category, and materials expenditure per capita. And they're showing a 5-year spread, because the most recent data available for this was fiscal year 2016. So they're showing a nationwide mean, I guess, based on a sample of 428 libraries, including us. But I thought you'd be interested in seeing how Batavia, its actual numbers, so those are to the right of the chart, just to give you a sense of where we've been. So nationwide, obviously circulation has been declining gradually, and materials expenditure per capita has been increasing gradually over the last 5-6 years. So we certainly fit that exact same trend.
So that number, like 9.81 in fiscal year 2012, for, that's the number of items checked out
Per capita.
per library user, per person in the district?
That's the average for the 428 libraries that reported for their total circulation divided by the total population. So in our case, it's 30.1, because we took our total circulation, which that year happened to be over 800,000, and divided it by our population of 26,560.
So it's the total population of Batavia?
Of the district. Of the library district.
Okay.
So since it's an average, since the chart is an average, obviously that's, there'll be libraries much, much lower than that and much, much higher than that, as we are much, much higher than that. So. So I just thought that might be an interesting snapshot to share. And then related somewhat to that, item C is that the latest Library Journal Index for 2017, based in this case on 2015 data, was released in December by Library Journal magazine. And in our category, which is the budget range of $1 million to $4.9 million, Batavia was, as I note here, ranked 16th in Illinois of 124 libraries reporting, and 136th in the United States out of 1,436 libraries reporting. So and there's 5 different measures that this is based on, as I describe in my report. And we have, I think the Library Journal Index is maybe 9 maybe 9 years old, maybe anywhere from, I forget when it started, maybe 6 to 9 years old. I don't have the starting date in my head. We've always done very well. The top libraries in each category get stars, 3, 4, or 5 stars. We haven't quite hit that level yet. I think some libraries actually really focus on how to get the stars. We just go about our business. But I think we're ranked very highly. I think that says that we're doing a very good job, and I'm very proud of the job we do here in Batavia. So those are the 2 highlights I wanted to share. There's some other things in here that will be reported on by others. So.
All right, thank you. Hi, Joanne.
Good evening. Just pulling a couple things out of my report. Winter Library Club Reading Wonderland has begun. In youth services, it's a family club. It began this past Saturday and it runs through February 28th. So it runs through the 28th of February. And it's totally different than our summer reading club where that's an independent reading club. This is more of a family club, and it's an opportunity to engage family in reading activities as well as library activities and introducing families to different library resources. So online databases, some of the AV material we have and things like that, and some of our programming. Similar to summer though, we do have participants keep track on a log sheet, just their 10 different activities that they're working on, and they do end up earning some rewards as well, such as Chick-fil-A coupons for kids' meals, as well as coupons for the Friends book sale, a free book there, and all children earn a paperback book for this as well as the summer reading club. A little different though, families who join the club can also be entered into prize drawings for reaching different levels, and some of the things that we're giving away one of the things is the new Batavia-opoly game. So if somebody didn't get one for Christmas, they can be in a drawing, they can try their chance at that. Funway we have bowling packages, family bowling packages from Funway, family passes to DuPage Children's Museum and Morton Arboretum, brunch at the Lincoln Inn. So it's kind of a family activity. And we already have about 50 families participating since Saturday, so it's off to a great start.
I should mention Batavia-opoly. I understand that there were some misprints on the cards, and the Batavia Chamber of Commerce has replacement decks of cards available if we want to get them for the games that we have.
Okay, great.
I just learned about this.
Thanks. The Friends of the Library continue to be our primary sponsor for Winter Library Club, and we're very thankful of that. They fund the books that we're giving away for prizes. They fund some of the other rewards that we're giving. They donate the coupons for their sale. And this year, as well as last year, they're also sponsoring our Science and Art Fair. The big poster behind you has very much details. I'm going to pass around the little flyer. Our Science and Art Fair is Saturday, January 27th. I want to say it's the 3rd year for our Science and Art Fair, but it could be the 4th. I'm forgetting offhand. And it's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it brings in a lot of STEM groups, art groups, as well as science groups. For just an open house activity. And I'm going to pass these around. If you would like to take one home or take a couple and share them with your neighbors or family or friends and anybody, it's a great opportunity to see just different groups. And we have Jolene Baytuck, one of our staff people in youth services, one of our youth service assistants, is the one who coordinates this event and starts working on this as soon as Summer Reading Club is over. So starts contacting groups in August and early September. And she has quite a variety of different groups, so that there's some art things, there's science things, there's dinosaur things, there's geology, and a lot of hands-on, there's hands-on activities for children. Probably most appropriate for preschool ages and up, but everybody can enjoy it and come. And we hope that you would do that. And please get the word out about that. And then the last thing I want to mention is something that the whole library is sponsoring, and that's the library Sweet 16 party. We are celebrating 16 years in 10 South Batavia Avenue, and the Science and Art Fair is on Saturday. So come on back on Sunday for the Sweet 16 event. There's going to be another open house. There's refreshments. There's trivia, library trivia. Test yourself. How well do you know little facts about the Batavia Public Library? There's drawings. There's going to be children's craft and birthday tattoos. And there's also a musical program at 2 o'clock. So there's a lot of great things happening. Michelle would not be happy if we didn't think about mentioning our Sweet 16 birthday. So there's some great things. I'll let you tell Stacy what the exciting thing for 16-year-olds is, the exciting drawing that's happening for our Sweet 16 party. But stop in any time, and we hope that we have a lot of people coming in for Sweet 16. If you were here 16 years ago, anybody at this table be here 16 years ago? It was a beautiful 60-degree Sunday afternoon when the library, when we opened these doors, and the line to get in the library was down the parking lot and around the parking lot, and we hosted over 6,000 people that day in this building, and the fire alarm got pulled during the middle of the event.
Yes.
So it was an exciting day. It was a lot of fun. We're not expecting 6,000 people here. I think Michelle would probably pass out if there were 6,000 people here, but it'll just be a fun day as well. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne.
Hi. Joanne mentioned that there's an event also for 16-year-olds. We're inviting people who will be 16 on the 28th of January to stop by the library, show proof of their age, which could be their library card or a driver's license, some kind of ID of some sort that will be able to verify that they're 16, and their name will go into a drawing for a gift card. So we're celebrating the 16-year-olds as well as our own 16th birthday here in this building.
So you have to be 16 on the 20th.
On the day, yeah. Yeah.
So there's not going to be that many.
Not that many. Well, they don't have to turn 16 that day. They just have to
that's
be a
nice.
16-year-old on that day.
Oh.
So if they turn 16 next week, but they come in this week, we'll just take a look at their birthday and make sure they're going to be a 16-year-old.
It doesn't have to be
Right. It doesn't have to be their actual
That's what I
birthday.
was thinking, it had
No.
to be on their birthday
No.
on the 28th.
No, it's just all 16-year-olds as of that day.
Maybe there is a library twin out there.
There might be a library twin.
Oh, I'm sure that
That would
there
be
is.
thrilling. I think they should get a special prize.
I would think so.
A couple other things. Winter Reading Club is going on for adults as well. I'm going to send around
Oh, good.
reading logs.
Didn't get mine.
Adults and teens simply read 3 books between now and the end of February, and they earn a prize. So we keep it simple, we keep it focused on the reading in adult services, and we look forward to finding out what everyone is reading this winter. One Book, One Batavia season is nearly upon us. By the time we see each other next month, we will have had our book discussion about the book The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba. That will take place on February 13th for those who've read the book and want to come together to discuss it. And then we have 3 events coming up in March. On March 4th, Storyteller, Oba William King, a documentary film about William and his windmill. That will be on Monday, March 5th, and Stories and Songs of African People on Sunday, March 11th at 2 o'clock. All of these events and the registration information is available on onebookonebatavia.org. And finally, a note of sadness for all of us on the staff here, as well as for some in the community. Pat Montana, our home delivery assistant, has retired after a wonderful run of 10 years delivering books to the Homestead, Riverine, Heritage Woods, and to some individuals' homes. So we miss her already, and we just want to recognize the wonderful service she provided. We were just talking here amongst ourselves. She would be heading out into who knows what kind of weather with a smile on her face to deliver books to people who couldn't get here. She was delivering the library to them, and then one of our greatest outreach programs that the library has to offer. So we miss her very much and are grateful for the years of service that she provided. Any questions?
Will that program be continuing?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. We have Roseanne from Adult Services is going to be standing in the interim, and we have a job ad posted. Yep.
All right, thanks, Stacy. All right. Committee and official representative reports, community engagement.
Yes, indeed. I'm pleased to invite everyone to participate in the first community engagement session on Thursday evening, February 1st. It'll be at the Batavia High School cafeteria, and it'll begin at 7 o'clock. And Kathy's going to send around flyers and bookmarks. And if you know someplace you might like to put up an extra flyer, business you frequent, that sort of thing, please take a few. There was enough for you to all to take several. And then we have a stack of bookmarks for the same reason. Please invite your friends, your neighbors, anyone who lives in the library district. And we're very happy to have them join us for an opportunity to speak up about the library. The logo is behind me for the folks at home who want to engage and envision and energize what the library's future is all about, and the community can help us do that. So please join us on February 1st. And of course, the invitation is open to the trustees. Joanna, is there anything else you want to say about that, since you're on that team?
Right, just that obviously we have our logo. The committee is moving forward very well, making some good plans, some good marketing plans. I'd like to say that I think we're really blessed with the two co-chairs that have stepped up to the plate and are kind of driving the whole process.
Daniel Russo and Catherine Hubbard are the two co-chairs, community co-chairs, and they're doing a wonderful job.
And then I will second George's invitation to anyone out there listening to join us on February 1st for our first of 4 community engagement sessions. And this one will be focusing on your library today, and George is our guest speaker.
And how long are the sessions going to, 7 to 9? You could
Each
do
session
that
is
by
7
then?
to 9, and
Okay.
basically will include a brief overview of the evening, a presentation each time, not me every time, just the first time for me, of about 20 or so minutes on a particular topic, and then there will be small group discussion sessions, groups of 6 of the attendees will respond to a series of questions that we are preparing for them to give us feedback, and then we'll share some of that feedback that evening, and the people we're working with from Unicom ARC will capture all that data for us, and ultimately the facilitating team, which is a 20-member community team, which includes a few library-connected folks, but the majority of people are in fact community members, will be preparing from all the results of this suggestions and recommendations for the board, which will come back to the board later this year.
Will each of the sessions have a particular focus or a theme?
Yes, but they're not all decided yet. Because one of the things that we want to do in the first 1 or 2 is to solicit feedback and suggestions from the folks that attend on what they would most like to hear about. So the first one will be your library today. The second one will focus on the library of the future, where libraries are going. We don't have a specific title for that yet. And the last 2 are still a little bit open-ended.
And people don't need to necessarily attend all 4. They can come to as many as they're able.
Right. We're kind of encouraging people
Yeah.
for continuity
Sure.
to come to all 4, but certainly it is not a requirement. Come to first one, the third one, and
they have
whatever
questions.
piques your interest.
Even if you can only come to one, just come to the one.
Right.
And if they have questions, where do they go? So if I've got, like, I know I can't go to the first one, I'm curious about what this is gonna be going to. So is there a place on the, is this link gonna take me to more information, or is there
That
a
link,
spot on
the
the
link on the
website?
flyer is actually an RSVP link to get a sense of who's coming to that. We will have, as part of other marketing and publicity, things that are going out, we'll have the opportunity for feedback, but in terms of like an email address, engage@bataviapubliclibrary.org will get to members of that facilitating team.
And that will be
Yeah,
publicized.
add that to- okay.
As well as on the webpage.
Yeah, what we handed out today is really focused on driving people and encouraging people to come to the first session. But there'll be more information. There was a nice article in Neighbors this time, and there's some other
Nice
print
article.
and social media information coming.
There's an article in the Kane County Chronicle also.
That's right.
It was nice, it was very descriptive.
Okay. I missed that, so, okay. Excellent, all right. Tonight. Facilities, no meeting. You guys are meeting Thursday
Mhm.
in a couple days to discuss some projects.
I think you should have all gotten a packet tonight
Yeah,
for the, the whole board gets the packet. That's your regular packet.
yeah, that's here it is right here.
Yeah.
So,
We give every committee packet to every trustee for informational purposes, but, so you're not required to attend every meeting.
Right.
But if you wish to, because the parking lot will be the subject of discussion.
right, and we want to get bids out for this, so it's important that we have a meeting this month, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Finance, Jenny's not here this evening, but we discussed the ordinance abating the taxes, so we've only got a couple of those left, right? No, this is not, this is from the bond, so,
The bonds is the bonds were paid off in December of 2018.
that's exciting. Okay, that was a quick meeting for that. Outreach, no meeting. Services, I was at that one, so that's me. We talked about a number of things. One of those was the library director's goals, a couple things that are on here already. Policy on work environment free of discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. The performance appraisal, which we have as a line item later. And, well, I guess we don't have that on there, but the director's goals. So we talked a little bit about the performance appraisal. We're gonna revise the instrument that we use for that. We can still do it online, so it'll be hopefully easy for everybody to get to and respond to, but we're gonna adjust that a little bit to reflect things that we as trustees see. And I felt like some of the questions last couple times were things that I don't have a direct impact, or I can't directly see how that, and relate to that or respond to that, so we tried to change it up a little bit, so it was a little more as to how George interacts with us and how the library interacts with the community, and things that we might be able to see and respond to better. So and then we talked about his goals, and we can talk about that later. So. Anything else to add on the meeting, Mike?
You got it.
All right, I believe that was it. Next, Batavia Public Library Foundation, Diane?
Well, we talked about what is it called, the stay home at the,
Oh, the.
Stay at home at the ball.
Stay home holiday ball. Which was a direct mail campaign that went in the mail
so
before the
hopefully everybody
holidays.
got one, invitation to send in some money.
Don't get dressed up.
Stay at home.
Stay at
Don't go
home.
out, stay at home and send it a check.
Yeah, just wrote myself a note to remember to send them my check. And I can't remember, did we talk about anything else? Just a little bit about the Bulldogs Unleashed.
And then starting to talk about some future fundraising plans, but nothing specific. Nothing much to
Okay.
All right. Friends of Batavia Public Library.
Well, the Friends didn't meet in November or December,
Okay.
but I have some book sale information for you. That the December book sale, which includes this Saturday morning sale in the front space, as well as the vintage sale that we held in this room, yielded $1,352. The corner books, this one always fascinates me, that little corner book
Uh-huh.
sale. Got a check earlier this week for $1,060.
Nice.
And this past Saturday, the sale brought in, sorry, this past Saturday, the sale brought in $1,060. The corner book sale brought in $1,012. So
So
those are the-
in a month?
Is that a new record for the corner?
Well, I'm not sure whether it's a 2-month, I'll have to
Oh,
investigate
yeah.
that. But it also includes the holiday sale where we
Okay.
sell books for a little bit more and the quality is a little.
Sure. Is that the rare book one or the?
No, that's the vintage sale. That was
That's
the,
This is just that little shelves in the corner.
yeah. But we do very well with that little corner book sale, so.
I was puzzled by it too when I was talking to Rosemary, and she was saying that there's also some special books that are put up there around Christmas time too.
Yes.
Which have higher value too.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
The Christmas sale, the books, can sell for as much as $5 if they're like current titles in really good
Sure.
condition.
But I got one downstairs, a Christmas one for 50 cents,
Mhm.
and then I came upstairs and they had the same book and it was like $2. And I'm like, ooh, I made out.
We try hard to avoid that situation.
It might not have been the same day.
It's bargain basement versus
That's
top
right.
shelf.
There you go.
But mine was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the Friends?
No, that's it.
Okay, thanks, John. Link, George?
Okay, we had one of our longer meetings at Villa Park, which was a long drive to begin with, so it was a long morning last Friday. Carol Dawes' last day is January 23rd. She's, maybe I mentioned this before, accepted a position in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so she's moving on. And I think you all got the invitation to the recognition party for her and her assistant, Joanne Surratt, who will take place in this library Friday afternoon. So if you have an opportunity, please come and join us from 3 to 5. And we wish Carol well. And the go-live date for us is May 1st. And a lot of work is continuing toward that date. And a lot of work is continuing toward the smooth dissolution of Link. We'll be doing 2 audits this year, one for last fiscal year, which ends, the fiscal year we're now ends for Link on April 30th, and then probably mid-year, June, July, we'll have a final audit to close out the books. And Link will be no more, but there's a lot of the checklists of all the things to take care of, everything from dealing with IMRF when the organization is going away and you have IMRF employees and equipment and leases and services. It makes one's head spin. I would not want to dissolve an organization very often again soon, frankly, but we're going about it very methodically, and lots of checklists and lots of work with accountants and attorneys to make sure everything is right. So we're getting there. And on the migration front, circulation services and technical services are doing a mammoth amount of work in that area too. So we will have some downtime in April. We can't add things to the catalog for a period of time starting April 18th, and we can't actually check things out through the online system for 3 days beginning April 28th. But fortunately, that's a Friday, I believe, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or well, it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I guess, which will not be the end of the world in that situation. But that's part of the final, and then moving all the data which is now being tested. And it's exciting, but there's just a lot of work by a lot of different people, and we'll all be really, really happy when it's done. But the catalog will look different. It's the same software. It's the same, integrated library system, we call them, ILS. But it will just look different from what Link looks like with 8 libraries to what Swan looks like with over 90 libraries. So we'll roll out some marketing materials, and we'll be working to help our patrons make that transition as we get closer to it. So the benefit will far outweigh any slight inconvenience, I think, as we make that transition.
Are there other consortiums around the country that have as many libraries in one association?
We are becoming one of the biggest. We may end up being the biggest within the Cersei Dynex software. There may be bigger ones with other operating systems, but we're at least in the top 3 to 5 if we're not the largest. Maybe the largest public library one. It's not all public, in fact. It's multiple types of libraries, but primarily public. There may be some larger academic, but it's mammoth. Over 10 million items in the database. So so if you're looking for an obscure CD, your odds of finding it have gone way, way up on May 1st. So, but still, anything you can't find here, we'll still get for you through interlibrary loan, won't we, Stacy? So yeah, that's a good question, and we really haven't discussed that, but we're going to be, I think, in the upper tier in terms of size. But the system, I think, has been tested to the point where that should not be an issue. So that's all I got.
Great, thanks. Let's see, finally, Batavia Access Television. Rich.
The 2 major things, obviously getting into the basketball season after a very successful football season, and the budget for the coming year was passed. So those are the 2 issues that were brought forward and decided at the meeting.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Next line item is number 13, Library Director's Goals for 2017-2018. This is something we talked about in our Services Committee. You do have these in your packet here. Most of these are similar to what we had for the last year. We typically would discuss the goals sooner. We kind of got pushed off this year due to working on the evaluation method and then just not catching it and moving it forward. So I think most of these are the same. The big one we're kind of changing is Goal C, which is maintain a safe, healthy, and productive work environment. I'll reword that a little bit, but that was kind of our way of focusing the goals too on how well the library is run and some of the ways to measure that and how are things going inside the library, as well as how is the library responding to our patrons and meeting their needs. So kind of a management kind of line item there also. Anything else to say on that? No? So my understanding is we typically present these and pass these as a body so that they're published and makes it easier for George and the library to work towards these goals. And then the same with the evaluation tool and those questions. Those will be passed, or George will see those, and they're working on them also for the rest of the staff so they can see those, so that, again, when it comes time for an evaluation, you understand before you walk into your evaluation how you're being evaluated and what you should be doing to meet the needs of the organization. So, are there any thoughts or any comments on this? Any questions? Yeah.
The only thing that seemed a little confusing is how do you judge the exploration of RFID? Because that seems a little nebulous in terms of what's expected of that goal.
Yeah, that came out of the project plan that was done a couple of years ago.
Sure.
So out of the strategic plan, and those were the goals for the year. So, that's a valid question. I think the library has begun to explore that.
Well, actually, now that you say that, I was just looking at the detailed report that the board approved. The previous year's goal was explore, which was done, and the team working on that has met with the services committee twice now. The actual goal for this year is convert to RFID, and so
Okay.
based on the last, not services, facilities, based on the last facilities meeting, the minutes are in the packet you just got, there was an updated report on that, and so there's a basic plan that is underway for actually beginning that process. It got pushed back a little bit, frankly, because of the migration to Swan, because the same two departments that are knee-deep in the migration to Swan are also the ones that need to deal most with RFID, and they just couldn't do both of these big projects simultaneously. So, yeah, for more details, I refer you to the minutes for the facilities committee, which is in the packet. So it is a convert too, so we've actually got some specific steps we'll be taking.
So
So
that,
sorry for the typo.
that bullet item should be convert instead of.
Yes, apparently I cut and pasted from last year's rather than updating it to convert to RFID.
Okay.
The danger of boilerplate in the
Yeah.
computer world, so we'll make sure that gets changed.
Okay. So it's the items from the strategic plan, and then the other items are maintain a positive revenue position through the fiscal year and position the library for long-term positive position. Continue to implement the library's master plan for space utilization and capital asset plan for long-term maintenance issues and capital improvements. That's obviously something we've been talking about a lot as we've gone through this year. C was the item we added, maintain a safe, healthy, and productive work environment. And then D was complete the objectives and projects for year 3 of the strategic plan, which are engage the community, complete the migration from Link to Swan. As mentioned, we're going to convert to RFID and establish a review cycle for library policies.
And all 4 of those projects are well underway. I think, Mike, I think you've got an instrument that we'll get to see, I think.
Correct.
As I recall.
We talked about, since we're halfway through this fiscal year, it really wouldn't necessarily be fair and prudent to try to put specific targets or metrics on kind of the employee satisfaction or engagement at this juncture. I think certainly when it gets to assessing how this fiscal year has gone, we can get that through the qualitative assessment of any sort of discussions we have with George and direct reports, as well as the feedback instrument that we'll seize that we'll also get from his direct reports. But going forward, with the HR team is going to implement an actual employee engagement survey where we can actually quantitatively measure how people feel about leadership here, how they feel about the direction of the library strategy, communication, and what have you. Then we'll have a baseline understanding of where certain measures are, and then George can work to identify incrementally where he wants to take it the next level the year after that. So.
And you have access to an instrument like that?
Yep.
So again, that's kind of a way to measure what's going on staffing-wise or inside the building, and how it's working for the employees, and how as a manager, and we'll get the feedback from George's direct reports, because we don't have a way really to see that. I don't believe as trustees. So, but we felt that was something that was important to add as part of the review process.
Is that the right phraseology? That was the quote.
That's what we started with. That's what we ended the meeting with. I know
Yeah.
you said you might tinker with it, but
I think that kind of conveys what we want. Maybe that's not the perfect wording, but I think that kind of.
As long as you know what you mean.
As long as it's, like you say, it's something we can evaluate honestly. Okay. All right, is this
Motion in a second, the vote.
at a voice vote or a roll call?
A voice vote.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the library director's goals for 2017-2018 as shown.
So moved.
Thank you, Diane.
Second.
Thank you, Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thanks. Nice to get that on paper now.
14 was the placeholder in case we wanted to expand our marketing by spending some money, and in conversations with the board president and secretary, we decided not to pursue that avenue, so.
We can just real quickly, one of the items, or one of the things that George asked was whether we wanted to put together a community flyer and mail it to residents in the community at a cost of $1,000 or something.
Oh, it was way high.
No, it was like
It
10,000.
was like 9,200 because we
Yeah.
use an estimate of 15,000 households, but there's really only about 8,000 to 9,000 households in Batavia, so.
So it might have been still $4,500
Yeah, I think so.
to do that.
In its place, we're going to use a digital postcard that actually has some live links in it to connect to other information, and that will go out to in excess of 10,000 email addresses for the area, so, yeah. I think it's
The thought
started.
was, see how the response is to the first event. If the response is low and we're not getting the turnout that we would like to get in order to get the feedback, then move to the next step, which is mail stuff out and try and reach a broader range. I think one of my concerns is that we make sure that we're not just advertising to the same people that already come to the library. I want to, try and reach out and get as many as other people too. Because if they're not using the library, I'd like to know why not, and what can we do differently to get them in here.
Our
That's kind of the point.
Our marketing plan kind of includes the 15 people who are on the facilitating team, excuse me, have been asked to ask 10 friends or neighbors face-to-face to attend, because we feel like that kind of an invitation pulls people in more than a postcard. And then to ask those people to invite their friends and neighbors if they're interested in coming. So that was, the one thing that we decided to do. Nice article in Neighbors Magazine, which is a real broad distribution.
Yep.
So a lot of people, if they bother to read it, have seen it. We're asking also facilitating team members that whatever meetings they go to bring those bookmarks and flyers and distribute them to like the Rotary Club and the Women's Club, that kind of thing.
Right.
We've also been asked to take flyers and post them in businesses and stores in the area. So bookmarks.
Yeah, so the flyers you received are designed for that purpose, to
Mm-hmm.
ask businesses to put them in their window and such. And then the bookmarks, and these, the bookmarks were printed in-house to get some on the street immediately, but the actual, we're actually printing a mass quantity of those so that the facilitating team and any others that want to help do this can distribute them and disseminate them around town. 'Cause there are businesses where we can give a stack of 30 or 52 that will in fact make sure that the people that come in
Sure.
take them. So the idea is just to get the word spread. But I think the personal ask is going to be very important.
The
So
consultants
feel free to
have-
do that with your friends and neighbors.
Yeah.
Ask 5 or 10. And
Consultants told us that, that face-to-face invitation from a person to another person is, real effective in getting people
Yeah.
to come. We created a Facebook event, so people are being invited to it that way. We've been asked also to place the electronic version on like electronic billboards, or, like in my neighborhood, we have the neighbor, or I guess it's called, and it's an electronic billboard where you can post things, like your lost dog and things like that.
Oh, the email.
Yes, so, we're going to
Places like
take
that, okay.
advantage of a lot of the electronic
Okay.
calendars. Somebody mentioned
Backpack now for the schools.
they mentioned that, but they said that was a problem because you have to have it in so much time beforehand. And
Okay.
Well, and it used to be, in past years, it was like you'd scroll through one document. Now, there's some table of contents and you click on what you want to see. And apparently, most parents statistically seem to be looking at the school stuff, but not so much clicking on the community stuff. We can still send it there because, every opportunity is an opportunity.
Right.
And we estimate as much as 20% of Batavia doesn't have a smartphone and may not have a computer or a laptop, that sort of thing at home. So that's why the print materials are so important, because
Yeah.
there's a swath of our residents who well, actually, a lot of people aren't using Facebook, but a swath that aren't using social media, that are not getting email, that sort of thing. So we're trying to, hit both demographics pretty heavily.
Okay.
I went to the Friends book sale Saturday morning and handed out probably 30 of those bookmarks
Oh, good, okay.
to people who identified as library district residents, because a lot of people who come are. And I'd say maybe, 10 of those people expressed enough interest that I think that, they
Might be there.
might be them. So.
What happens in a situation where somebody would really like to be able to participate and offer their input, but maybe they're unable to actually reach the library? Maybe they don't have mode of transportation, or maybe because it's 7 to 9, they can't leave the home because they're a single parent, or there's something in their lives that just prevents them from actually physically participating. Is there going to be a way for people to react to how the conversation is progressing through these sessions and offering input?
That's a good question. I mean, actually, the facilitating team, the community team hasn't discussed that aspect of it. That's a good question. We're meeting again a week from tomorrow, so we'll bring that back to the team.
Because I'm, thinking there could be a myriad of reasons why certain groups aren't using the library services, and many of them could be because they can't physically access it when they want, or there's other things in their lives that are just preventing them from having the time to do so.
We saw that on the facilitating team. We invited probably 30 people, and counting 5 people affiliated with the library, including Joanne and me, we're down to 20, because in many cases, this is my night to watch the kids, or I'm working in Chicago on this night, or, different reasons like that. So we see that even with people who are quite mobile around town, but their lives are full. So I don't have an answer for that, because we haven't discussed it. We certainly can discuss it at our next meeting.
And one last thing I forgot is that the bookmarks and flyers are going to be handed out at the circulation desk as well.
That's where I got mine.
Okay. So, we're trying real hard to get the word
Yeah.
out.
No, I think it's great, so I'm hopeful that the event on the 1st is a huge success, and continue to just build upon that, so. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so that's it for that end, unless anybody has anything else for that. Okay, next item is future agenda items, which we have a report for that. Next meeting, you have a facilities this week on Thursday, and then we have our Board of Trustees meeting on the 20th of February. As far as I know, we've got committee meetings next month too. But we'll figure that out.
For those committees that need them.
Yeah.
In February, there will not be an outreach meeting.
Okay.
And there probably will not be a facilities meeting, because
You're having it.
of the timing of, we're having one this week, and then the bids will be back in time for the March 8th meeting, so that the actual recommendation for facilities will come back to the board at the March meeting. So.
Okay.
So it sort of goes, it ebbs and flows from month to month on which
Sure.
committees need to meet. So we'll look at that and make sure we get those messages.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? All right, then I need a motion to adjourn, please.
Move to adjourn.
Thanks.
Second?
Thanks, Diane. Second by Diane. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you, everybody.